Hey there, thanks for checking out another one of my videos. Today I'm going to do a what's in my bag, but it's going to be totally different than any other what's in my bag videos that I have previously done. This is actually a what's in my work bag, or in my case, what's in my set bag. For those of you who don't know, I actually work in the entertainment industry. I mostly work on movies, and I also do some television shows as well. So when we are on set, if you were a makeup artist, you would bring a bag with all sorts of makeup and brushes and that kind of stuff. And for me, since I work in the costume department, I have to have a whole bunch of other things. And I have done a few videos on a little bit on my work, but not a whole lot. And there's a lot of reasons why I'm not going to talk about a lot of things that I do at work, and that's because we do sign huge confidentiality agreements. However, this is something that I definitely can share with you guys. And I also did film one other video just kind of talking a little bit about it, which I will link right up here for you. So first I'm going to show you just the bag itself. Usually this is, it actually weighs about 20 pounds, but this is my set bag that I take with me when I go to set. It's not something that I have on me at all times, but I do have it in the vicinity. So whether it is kind of off in a distance on a set, it's just stuff that I need to have with me that I can get a hold of when I am working. So sometimes I do carry a huge, bigger tote bag depending on the job if I need to carry stuff to get people dirty. Other times I have like a rolling suitcase if I need to have more items or heavier items. If it's a job that is on set, a lot of times we have a rack where we kind of build it out and put drawers, and there's a big bottom on the bottom of it, and we can hang clothes on it. But when we're moving from set to set, we try to make the bag as easy to get to as possible, as well as what is in it super easy to get to. So right now, this is what I am taking with me. And I just actually had to go through and make sure I didn't need any other items or needed to add anything. So before I put it in my suitcase to fly to my next location, I wanted to share with you guys what's in it. So the first thing that I have are two little set bags. This one is a Kipling, and this is just a waist belt. This one, or a fanny pack. This one is great because my walkie fits right up in this pouch, and I usually will keep things like safety pins in them, and then I have a big pouch here for other things. I also have in here a little lucky penny that somebody on a job gave me. So I either will use this one or this one. This one does tend to get a little bit heavy, and being it's crossbody, it does start to hurt my shoulder after a while. So that's why I always make sure to have both with me. This one is just, for some reason, I think I've been carrying a little pouch like this pretty much my whole career. So this one to me is more comfortable, but after a while my shoulder does start to hurt. So in here, right now I have a bunch of safety pins on it. I have a little tiny lint roller. I also have, this is just a piece of pantyhose that we cut off. This is absolutely perfect when you are trying to get makeup out of a garment. A lot of times if I work weddings, this is so perfect because, you know, the groom, especially if they're wearing black, tends to get a lot of makeup on them, especially for people hugging them. And in real life, this is great too. You can just kind of rub it to get the makeup off. So I always have that with me. In this very front pouch, I always have safety pins. The second pouch, I have mostly Topstick, which, for those of you who don't know, it's just grooming tape. And this is great when you are trying to stick a shirt, like this shirt, for instance. If I'm moving around a lot, I don't want to see my bra, so I'll stick a piece of Topstick about right there, and it kind of sticks to it. We try not to use it that much because you want it to flow. You want items to kind of look like natural, but sometimes we do need that. And I also have a little tape measure. This is great if you're working and you need to kind of get different sizes or whatever. I always have that with me. And then I always will carry a scissors on me. So this one I love because it comes with a little thing that I wear around my neck, and I can just pull the scissors out. This is super, super important. Probably one of my #1 things that I have to have on me at all times. And in that front pouch, I also have a ribbon, or a thread braid, I think is what they're called. But all it is teeny tiny threads, pieces of thread, and in all different colors. And all you do is you go to the very middle, you pull out a single strand, and you can pull it all the way out and it comes unbraided. So this is great when I'm on set if something falls apart or if you have to quick stitch something. That is amazing. It's also great to have in real life. And in this big huge pouch, I usually will keep my walkie in there. Right now I have some earpieces. I have a couple different my things that go with my walkie, and I also have 2 of these little pre-threaded needles, which are good if you're kind of in a hurry. Next, let's go around the outside of all of these pockets. Each of them have things in them, and we're gonna start off with just the one on the side. I always try to have a travel steamer. If we are on a big sound stage, I usually will have a full-size steamer set up, but in this case, I'm gonna be bouncing to and from different locations outside, so the travel steamer is really helpful. Next to that one, I have a couple pairs of gloves. They're kind of stuck in there really well. This pair has like little rubbery things. This is great, especially if I was for some reason doing stock or something with a bunch of clothes and I have to carry a lot of hangers. So that's great for that. These are just little work gloves. These are great if I'm doing a lot of aging and I don't want my hands to get all dirty. And then I also do have some disposable gloves, which are also great if I'm working with fake blood or fake dirt. So all of those are in there. Next, I have wet ones. These are absolutely a must as well. A lot of people in real life think shout wipes are probably the best, but we have found, especially to get like blood and stuff like that out, the wet ones are definitely our favorite. I think it's kind of across the board. It's very much a industry favorite, are using wet ones. So I always have those. I also have a bunch of travel size of them. And these are, like I said, if I'm going, you know, my set bag's way on the other end and I need to be actually physically in the middle of the set, I do have travel size with me so that I can put those right on my set bag that I have right attached to me. On here, I have a little tassel. This is just a phone charger. Now we're going a little bit more towards using our cell phones. For a long time, you were not allowed to even have a cell phone on set. It still is very much like that. However, there are certain times when you need to have a cell phone with you to take photos to send to the designer, or you have to kind of keep continuity on your phone if you don't have access to a camera. It's all very different. Each production, each movie, each show has different policies if you can have a cell phone or not on set, so I always do keep a charger with me. The next pouch, I have a couple pairs of scissors. One is just a basic crappy pair of scissors, and one is a little bit better that I use for fabric. I have a bunch of zip ties. I have some microfiber. These are amazing for shining shoes. We use Pledge and these to shine not leather, but patent shoes. So if we were doing a big military scene, they usually have patent leather, really dressy shoes. So I like to use those for that. And these also just come in handy for lots of different things. And then I have a little tiny baby powder. This is perfect for if you get any kind of oil stains. Baby powder, I will tell you right now, is the best way to get oil out of or grease out of clothes. All you have to do is put a bunch over the spot and then let it absorb, and you usually can just wipe it off. And then most of the time, if it's in my real life, I will wash it off. But next pouch, I have some oak tags in all different sizes. These are pretty much all we write on. If we're trying to keep a costume together, we will write the character name, the show number if it's a movie or if it's a TV show, or if it's a movie, the scene number, those kinds of things, and we always will attach those to the garments so we don't get confused, especially when the character is changing a lot. We also have always tons of Sharpies. I have some pencils and a highlighter. Those are great. Every day you get kind of a shooting list, and it's great to be able to take any notes on, or a lot of times we'll highlight important things or cross off things as we go ahead and shoot them. So it's a good way to kind of obviously keep track of everything. My next pouch, I have just a Shoe Shine sponge. These are essential for being on set. I don't know why. One of my early designers that I worked with had a huge thing about having dirty shoes on characters in TV unless they're supposed to have dirty shoes. So whenever I'm working on a film that is more like people in business suits and stuff, before we go to tape, I always will go through and shine their shoes. And also in that pouch, I have some germ hand sanitizer. I have another little USB, or what are these things called? A little charging thing. And another one of my favorites is this Dry-L. I think that you can still buy them maybe on Amazon, but it's Dry-L on the go. It's instant stain remover, and I have found that this stuff gets out everything. I absolutely love this for most stains, so I always do keep at least one or two with me. Next, I have another little scissors. This one is just a tiny one attached to a little cord because so many people walk away with my scissors, so I keep that there. And I also have just a little container of safety pins. I think that's everything. In the set bag that I always keep on me, the smaller little one, I do always have a camera. Right now, I'm using this Canon G9X. It's just a good point and shoot. It's easy and fast. So I have that. Up here, we're gonna go into this big pouch up here. On the top, I have attached to one of these like mommy clips kind of thing. I have a little piece of pantyhose. I do have a lint roller, and I also have a brush. This is great if somebody falls or if we're doing stunts and they keep kind of landing on the ground. It's just easy to brush them off, so I keep all of those attached. And on the inside of this, I have, looks like a mess, but it's very organized. I have a bunch of pouches in the middle, and then all the pockets around the sides have stuff in them. So let's go through the pouches. The first one is, this one is not a clear pouch because this is all my personal stuff. This is stuff that when somebody walks by and looks in my bag, if they need something, most of the time they're gonna take it. A lot of times we're working really quickly. So if you need something like scissors, you're gonna pull them out wherever the closest place is. So I keep this stuff in not a clear pouch just because it's my personal stuff. In here, I have a belt. I have some extra earpieces for my walkie. I have an extra walkie cord. I have another phone charging bank. I have some hand warmers. I have a toothbrush and toothpaste. I have a phone charging cable, and I think that's about it for what's in there. And next, I have a little pouch that is marked repairs, and I'm not going to get totally into what is in all of this. This video will end up being super long. So in here I have some white chalk. This is great if we have somebody who is wearing a dress shirt, a white dress shirt, and they start to get makeup around the collars. We will go in and just use white chalk to make it not appear as dirty on camera. I also have some more of those little braids, some more pre-threaded needles. I have some collar extenders if somebody's neck is a little bit too big. We use those. I also have extra needles, and I have some really old, I don't even know where these came from, snaps, and some little hook and eyes. These are really great for if a woman has a blouse that kind of maybe is pulling around their bust or something like that. We use those. Yeah, and I think that's pretty much everything that's in. I have some extra glue and some elastic down there as well. Oh, and some clear bra straps. And next I have a big, huge clear pouch that is shoe supplies. In here I mostly have blister band-aids. I have moleskin and some heel grips, as well as blister block and foot pads. And because the sound is so heightened on set, when people are walking with loud shoes, you don't want to hear them walk along unless it's part of the storyline. So we always have these we call these hush heels. I don't really know what they actually are, but they're little foam pieces that go on your shoes or your heels to keep from making sound on camera. I have one that is office supplies, just more tags, more markers, and pens, and that kind of stuff is in that one. And next I have a little pouch. This one is filled with Topstick. Topstick in all different shapes and sizes. There's little round ones that are great. There's big fat ones. There's skinny ones. There's all sorts of ones in there. In the bottom of the pouch, this is really helpful for night shoots. It is a flashlight that kind of goes on your head, but this is really, really helpful for night shoots. So we have that in there. I also have these little, they look like really big rubber bands, but these are actually a couple different things. One, we did use them for I did a 1920s and 30s movie, and it kept the set stockings up on women, so they're kind of like garters. But we also use them in everyday shoots if you put a shirt on somebody and the sleeves are too long and they're wearing it underneath a jacket. So we'll put these on their arms to kind of blouse up their sleeves so that it looks on camera like the shirt exactly fits. And I also have in the bottom a couple more zip ties. And I have this little round thing that is so great. You put your needle and thread in there and you just have to pull out the needle, and all the thread is all wrapped up in here. It's super organized. I like to use this if we know that something is going to keep coming undone. I think on one movie we had a woman's sweater that always was unraveling. So we filled this whole thing up with white thread, and every time the sweater would start unraveling between a scene, we'd pull out a needle, we'd go in and stitch it up really quickly, and then we'd have to sit there every time, pull out the thread, thread the needle, and do it. So this is just a really quick way of doing that. And next we are into my little pockets on the inside of the bag. So in the first one I have a paintbrush. This is basically like the really big brush that I have. It's super easy to get dust and stuff off of people. And I also have this vinyl stick. It is for plastic and leather like surfaces. Quickly removes dirt and grime and buildup. This is just another cleaning tool that I have. One pouch is filled pretty much with more thread and the pre-threaded needles, as well as a little thing of snaps and hook and eyes and that kind of stuff. And there's also a tape measure in there. And then this, I actually just recently got this tin, and I am going to, I think, use it for safety pins, but I threw it in here because eventually I'll figure out what I'm going to put in it. I have my cute, my adorable little Swiss Army knife. This is not really that helpful, but I just think it's adorable. So that is in there. What else? More glue. I have invisible panties. These are the funniest things ever, but they do work. We do use those quite a bit, if you can see panty lines, so I always have those in there. I have some sandpaper. This is great if you're trying to kind of make something not look as new, just kind of buff it up a little bit. And I do have a whole kit for aging, but on this particular movie that I'm about to go on, we don't need a lot of aging, so I'm not taking that with me. This is pit pads. They just go right in your armpits, especially if men are really, really sweaty. We like to have those. When I'm on set in a sound stage, if I have a full rack, I usually will have things like hair dryers and stuff like that I easily can dry out armpits, but these are good just for on the go. The next pouch, I have a little, these, I like using lint rollers better, but sometimes certain material doesn't work well with lint rollers, so this is just a little delinter. I have a leather hole punch. I have my good scissors, which I always keep in the inside to hide from everybody else, but these are my, for fabric, really good Ginger scissors. I also have a little pair of scissors that are good ones that stay inside, and I have a little knife, X-Acto knife kind of thing in there. Then two more pouches. One is this one. I have my battery charger and extra batteries for my camera. And this one are a bunch of tags. These are for a tagging gun, which we use all the time, and that is what is in the last pouch. The last pouch, I have a couple different size tagging guns. This one is a regular size tagging gun, and this one is a micro size tagging gun with a really tiny needle here. And these are essential. Basically what the tag is it's a needle that pulls out one of these. If you worked in retail, you probably have seen them, but these are essential on set. A lot of times, like if you have a scarf or something and it moves around, we have to keep it consistent throughout the whole movie. So a lot of times we'll put it how we want it, and then we'll hide these little tags throughout it to keep it in place. Or if you're doing a crazy stunt and we need to make sure that your shirt stays tucked in, we'll kind of tag the shirt to the pants so that we don't see the belly or the pads underneath. These are just super essential. Most of the time we cannot use safety pins, especially if it's stunts, because if for some reason the safety pin opens up and pokes the person, it can just be a bad thing. So we do use these tagging guns quite a bit. Oh, okay, I think I got through everything. This is just my essentials that I take with me from movie to movie, and every movie is different. I've said this before. Every job that I do is different, and everything that I carry with me a lot of times is different based on the movie. If I'm doing an old-fashioned movie, I have to have different things. If I'm doing a movie with a lot of blood and guts and dirt, I have to have different stuff with me. But this is pretty much the basic stuff that will come with me just on a regular present-day movie. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, definitely hit the subscribe button, and make sure to leave any questions or comments below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it and are having a great day. Thank you. Thanks, no, I'm not trying to pack. So I'm trying to film. I feel like this is a little bit, I'm gonna go a little higher. There. Particular. I have a mosquito bite that's itching.